Coming up on the Joe Rossano show, he disrespected me. The guy that you're with now is more disrespectful than your husband was. I mean, I knew him. He was all right. Are you ready for down to earth reporting and brutal honesty? The Joe Rossano show is next. Welcome to the Joe Rossano Show. Hi, I am Joe Rossano, where our mission is to lay out the issues in a down-to-earth fashion using brutal honesty. So as of right now and forevermore, stop watching fake news, stop tuning into conspiracy-driven podcasts, and strictly get all of your information going forward right here on the Joe Rossano Show. Please click subscribe and the notification bell for all the latest episodes of the Joe Rossano Show. So let's go. Divorce disasters. We're going to analyze people who were married and are now divorced and their behavior while they're divorced. And we're going to start here with some statistics. Would it surprise you to know all first marriages end in divorce about 40% of the time? And if you get married again for the second time, you have a 60% chance of getting divorced. And if you get married for a third time, you have a whopping 73% chance of getting divorced. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to analyze the ladies and the guys and their behavior since they've been divorced. Now, I'm going to start here. I've been married nearly 26 years to the same beautiful, intelligent, completely infuriating woman. So some people are going to say, well, Joe doesn't know what he's talking about. He's married. He's never been divorced. Well, if I know 100 people, my wife and I are the only married couple. 98 of my friends are divorced, people I know personally. So I've seen it all. And again, sometimes your best analysis comes from an outsider looking in. Again, I'm going to start with the ladies, but I am going to get to the guys. So ladies, stay tuned. I'm going to get to the guys, and I'm really going to suck it to them. So, again, stay tuned. Ladies, you get divorced for a number of reasons. He's broke. He's an alcoholic. He doesn't desire me anymore. He's a cheater. So you get divorced. Sounds reasonable. However, some of you, and it's always going to be some, end up in a worse relationship than you were when you were married. Which leads me to ask, ladies, what haven't you learned? You were married, some of you, 10, 15, 20 years, and it's like you didn't learn anything when you were married. Examples, and I can give you facts all day long. You left your husband because he was an alcoholic. So what do? You meet a guy in a bar. You left your husband because he was broke. So what do? You pay the guy you met in the bar's bar tab. It makes no sense. I just don't understand it. I really, really don't. He disrespected me. The guy that you're with now is more disrespectful than your husband was. I mean, I knew him. He was all right. At the end of the day, I just cannot believe the behavior, and it's not all, of some of you after you got divorced. Here's another thing, and this is, I think, my favorite, is the so-called MILFs, the so-called cougars, are having encounters or hookups with young men younger than their sons. Where does that story end? And don't get me wrong, ladies, I get it. I saw Magic Mike. I completely understand. However, while I was investigating this story, I talked to some of these young guys and I asked them about it. And I asked them, hey, with all of these beautiful young ladies, why would you have encounters or hookups with women your mother's age? And they all said the exact same thing in separate conversations. Well, they're uninhibited in the bedroom. You can tell them what to do. Did you hear that, ladies? And I'm telling you, I talked to them, these so-called MILF hunters. They claim that you're uninhibited and they can tell you what to do. Unbelievable. I mean, not much surprises me, but that one actually did. And what is the end game there? So let's start here. You take a young man, again, in your son's age range, some of you, they've never been married, they don't have any children, They don't have any responsibility there. You have a parent-teachers conference, let's say on a Thursday night. This young man wants to have his encounter. He wants his hookup. He doesn't want to hear about your parent-teachers conference. Well, I have a parent-teachers conference tonight. What do you mean? I thought you were coming over. I got a six-pack of beer waiting for you. Ladies, what are you thinking, some of you? And before any of you say, well, Joe's older, he's jealous. No, I'm not. If I were single, I could still get out there and mix it up with the best of them. I wouldn't need the internet. I wouldn't need Match or Tinder. I wouldn't need any of those things. So no, I'm not jealous. I am just trying to caution you as to what can happen. These young men sometimes don't know when to say when. So here's an example. Had a friend of mine at 45. She had a brilliant idea of making out with some 22-year-old kid. That's exactly what he was, in the middle of the dance floor. Now, she had had enough. She just wanted to go home. Okay. She was drunk enough, and he didn't know when to say when. He wanted to keep making out. He wanted to go home with her, and she didn't want to. I ended up having to get involved. I ended up having to go over to this kid and say, hey, man, you need to mind your manners. All right. She's done now. So, ladies, again, what I don't understand is, what didn't you learn? Seriously, I just can't understand this. Your husband was this. Your husband was that. He was disrespectful, an alcoholic. He was broke. The guy you're dating now is worse. I just don't understand that. And at the end of the day, ladies, what I would say is this: when a guy does treat you right, when a guy does care about you, you hate him. I'm serious. Most of you. It's not even some of you on that one. It's most of you. How do you reward a guy who treats you the right way? You don't like him anymore. You like the guy who's a jerk. That I'll never understand. That's some psychological thing that I'm not smart enough to analyze because I don't know any better. But I will tell you this: I have had within my lifetime a late mother, a wife, a daughter, and two sisters. So again, it's not like I have no idea what I'm talking about. I know exactly what I'm talking about because I've seen you all behave this way. To the guys, like I said, ladies, told you I'd get to the guys, and I'm going to sock it to some of you fellas. Guys, some of you. It's not all of you, but some of you. I am so disappointed in, especially some of you guys in my age range. Some of you are so disrespectful to these women. And again, some of you guys are 40, 45, 50, 55 years old, and you are completely disrespectful to some of these women. And I know exactly what it is that you do. You make them promises, you tell them we're going to be together, etc., and you don't mean any of it. Or here's my favorite. Ladies, tune into this one, okay? Lend me your ears on this one. You tell the woman, well, I don't want a relationship. That's code. I speak guy language. That's code for I want to mess around with other women and I don't want you to complain about it. That's exactly what that means. I don't want a relationship. That is so you can't call him out later for having relations with you and other women. It's hysterical. And I see it all the time. And guys, don't act like I don't know what I'm talking about here, because I absolutely do know what I'm talking about here. If Margot Robbie or Jennifer Aniston came a calling, you'd want a relationship. So don't act like, hey, you're going into this whole thing. I don't want a relationship. You tell women that, some of you, because you want to have your cake and eat it too. Here's another thing some of you do. I was going to introduce a friend of mine to a nice lady. She's about 40 years old. And he says to me, she have any kids? She's 40 years old. Yeah, I mean, I imagine, yeah, she got two children. Oh, well. I'm like, brother, you're 45. What do you expect? Some of you guys want to meet a woman that's 40, never been married, has no children, and looks like she's 27. That is a pipe dream, guys. That is a pipe dream. Speaking of cougars or the so-called MILFs, guys, you do it too. Oh, you do it too. You think it's a brilliant idea to have an encounter, a hookup, some type of a thing with a young lady in her 20s. Me personally, I'm terrified of young ladies in their 20s. Now, you think it's all well and good and you're having a great time and she's young, et cetera, till she throws a brick through your windshield, until she says, hey, can I use your credit card? I just want to get a couple of outfits. You get your credit card bill and it's $6,000. So again, guys, you do it too. You do it too. And what didn't some of you learn? You don't think it's just the ladies, it's you guys too. I left my wife because she cheated on me. I found text messages on her phone. She drank too much. Whatever the case may be. The girl you're dating now drinks too much. The girl you're dating now is disrespectful. I mean, the girl you're dating now is seeing 4 other guys, 2 of which you know. These online dating apps, I think it's hilarious. And again, my investigation, okay, I talked to people on these dating apps. I got married before dating apps, so I had to rely on some other folks' analysis of them. And they tell me they'll date Regina. And then their friend will say, oh, yeah, I dated Regina last week. It's like you guys are out there recycling one another. It's hilarious to a married guy, an outsider looking in. It's hilarious. But again, guys, you heard what I said to the ladies, but you guys do it too. My suggestion, folks, divorced people out there, both men and women, give each other a little grace. Be honest with one another. Be forthcoming with one another. Ladies, if you meet that nice guy that you say on social media that you are dying to meet, don't reward him by not liking him. Guys, don't tell these ladies things that you have no intention of following through on. That's not fair. Consider that most of you folks went through a tough divorce. You have children. Show each other some grace. I'm going to get to my favorite part here. I'm going to get back to the ladies real quick. Had a friend of mine, female friend of mine. She came to me and said, the guy I'm dating, he treats me bad. He won't tell me he loves me. He doesn't want to see me anymore. She'll go on social media and completely berate him. He's a POS. He treated her bad. He did this. He did that. There's always 2 sides to every story, because in this case, I knew the guy. And I said to myself, that doesn't sound like him. He seems like a nice enough fella. So I talked to him and I said, hey, she told me that you did this, you did that. I've read some posts on social media. I just can't believe it. Brother, that doesn't sound like you. What'd you do that for? And he said, well, Joe, she didn't tell you about the guy she hooked up with in his car outside the bar. She didn't tell you about the 5 guys she was talking to on the dating apps. She didn't tell you about the 3 text messages I found from guys, 2 of which were friends of mine. As a matter of fact, you know what? She didn't tell me that. So there's always 2 sides to every story, which gets back to what didn't you learn? Now, I'm going to play a role here. I am single Joe. Let's just say I'm single out there now. And if I were single, and that's a big if, here's Joe Rossano as a single guy with the Joe Rossano zero tolerance policy. Okay, so let me set the stage for you here. I'm single now, okay? Single guy. All right. Lost a few pounds, bought a sports car, whatever guys in my age range do. Okay. I did all of that. Okay. So I'm ready. What would I do? What would I take into my divorce life that I learned from my marriage? And it goes something like this. I'm dating a woman and she sends me a text message. Where are you? blocked. She sends me a message. Hey, I saw you in a picture on social media standing next to some blonde. Blocked. Okay? It's exactly what I'm going to do. Oh, believe me. You see what I learned? I'm not explaining myself to anybody now that I'm divorced. I'm not going to get into a situation that's worse than my marriage was. I'm just not going to do it. Absolutely refuse to do it. And here's something that just drives me nuts about some of you divorced single people. I'll say, hey, are you dating Tom? Well, we're not telling anybody. It's on the DL. It's on the down low. The down low? What are you, Secretary of State? What are you famous? Nothing's going to be on the down low with me. If I go out on a date with someone, we're taking a selfie. Hey, we're out at the movies. We're having a great time. I'm not explaining myself to anybody. I'm not going out on a date with somebody on the down low because I am not married anymore and I'm going to do what I want. And I'm not going to hide what I'm doing. I'm just not going to do it. I'm not dating someone on the down low. People got a lot of nerve. Well, we're keeping it on the down low. We're keeping it on the DL. Who do you think you are? What are you, a member of Congress? It just never made any sense to me. So again, at the end of the day, folks, divorced folks, take it easy on each other. Show a little grace. Be friendly. Take into consideration that many of you have children. Some are either ill or have mental illness related matters. Be kind to one another. Joe Rossano's rant of the day. Rant of the day. Things that really annoy me, and it all revolves around gentlemen. It is very difficult for me to be a gentleman that my parents raised nowadays. I will say, how you doing today, ma'am? And she'll say, don't call me ma'am. When did that become a bad thing? What time did that start? My mother and father raised me to be a gentleman, sir, ma'am, especially to my elders. Really, and it happens. Again, call me old fashioned. If a woman and I are walking towards a door, I'm going to open the door and let her go first. I've had women out there lately who object over that. You don't have to hold the door for me. I'm trying to be a gentleman. That used to be a nice thing to do. When did that start becoming such a bad thing? And then you got lack of gentlemen. Let me give you an example of something, okay? Let's get back to, if I were single, I'm not going to make a woman pay for a meal I take her out to. If I take a woman out on a date, it's on me. Some of you guys have the woman leave the gratuity or pay for the popcorn. What's the matter with some of you guys? When did you all stop, some of you, stop being gentlemen? I mean, really, the only time a woman would need a purse if she went on a date with me, it's if it matched her outfit. That's the only reason. And that would be the only time I'm paying for the dinner. I'm paying for the popcorn. And that does not obligate that woman one way or the other. It's me being a gentleman. Shame on some of you. And some of you were gentlemen, and I know you. And some of you, again, will let the woman pay the bill. I mean, again, call me old fashioned, but that's just not being a gentleman. And ladies, especially early on in the relationship, guy asked you at the dinner, slides you the bill, or has you pay for your own salad, or asks you to leave gratuity, dump him. He's a punk. Dump him. That absolutely drives me nuts. I have tried to be nice, try to be a gentleman. My parents raised me to be a gentleman, and it's out of fashion now. It's out of style. And then when you're supposed to be a gentleman, especially on a date, some of you aren't. And that's a shame. Once again, thank you for tuning into the Joe Rossano Show, where we are down to earth, brutally honest. Please subscribe, click the notification bell for all latest episodes of the Joe Rossano Show. God bless you, my dearest friends and fellow Americans, and we'll see you next time. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and click the notification bell for all the latest episodes of the Joe Rossano Show.